Oh, it's so hot. That's really a bad example, isn't it? Well, you get what I mean. I just felt like a huge, load of, crud. I don't want to say crap. Oh, I just did, didn't I?
Early Christmas morning at the table with my mama, steams coming off the coffee. We talking about the Father. These are the conversations I cherish.
Hi guys! Hi! Sorry, my voice is a little bit gone, but I am back. Yes, I know it's been about 2 months that I haven't filmed actually in front of a camera. I've been really busy with school. I know I say that a lot, but this year is my last year until I graduate college. So it's really busy for me. I'm taking 7 classes and it's really stressful, plus I'm working, so it's really stressful for me and really busy, like super busy. Like I don't have time to go out or to see friends. It's just insane. As I do miss you guys. I do miss YouTube, and I just wanted to get this out. So I'm actually on my homework break. I've gotten a message probably a couple days ago from one of the girls that I talk to, not on a regular basis, but she's super sweet, and she asked me about how to get over your first and moving on if it didn't work out. Something that in my own experience is something that I think would help you guys, because I've been through that, sad to say. So just to start off with my story, my first was when I was 20, I think I was 20 or 21. No, I was 20. I was very new, to dating, and I didn't date in high school. I didn't have a boyfriend in high school. It wasn't my thing. I didn't really care. Dealing with your first is always frustrating and very hard to move on. For me, it was hard to move on because when you have strong feelings for that person, I mean, it wasn't that strong as to a point where I was in love with him, but it was to the point where I was getting there. And things happened, there's another girl involved, and I'm not going to get into that because it's past. I was involved with this guy. I knew him for a couple years before we even started dating, I guess you could say. I was in that stage where I was just like, oh, having fun. This guy is cool. That kind of deal. Yeah, I was kind of just like, yeah, I can talk to you, whatever. But then things got into where I started to like him a lot, as I made it clear to that guy that, I was, a virgin, and I don't plan on doing that until I am married. I've made a promise to God. I made a promise to myself that I would not do that. And I was sticking to that. I was going to stick to that. And that is something that, sex is very important to me. I'm sure it's important to a lot of girls, but for me, of how I grew up in church, and I know what's right. I know what's wrong. I know what God wants for my life. God's commands are, and I want to follow them. But sometimes through Christianity, some people, they fall away, and that is something that I did. I'm not like proud of it, but I have learned from it, which is something that I don't regret. I don't regret anything that has happened in my life so far, because if I did, then I wouldn't be sitting here the person I am today. And in that situation, in that moment that it happened, that's just what it was. I was in that moment, and in that moment I wanted to do it because of how I felt temporarily right now, or just because it was just in that moment. Later on, I didn't realize the mistake that I made. Like to this day, I don't wish that I was a virgin, because I can't really say that because of just what I went through. It was really
super hot in here. I'm sorry. In Hawaii, it's like 82, 85, 90 degrees, and I'm hot in here. I would put on the fan, but it's so freaking loud. I don't want you to think I'm ghetto.
As time moved forward, things began to change between me and that guy, and it was not good. There was another girl involved, like I said, and it got really ugly. I don't know. In a way, ever since I did that decision and things happened, myself, I started to change. I wasn't the girl that I was before I met this guy and before I did the things that I did. I changed, you know, and through anything, don't ever let anyone change you. You know, don't let the situations that you're in change you into something bad, something that you never thought you would be. I turned back to God because God was there even in the baddest times that I was in. No matter how ugly and frustrating we think that it is, God looked at me like I was the most beautiful, precious stone he's ever seen. That's really a bad example, isn't it? Well, you get what I mean. God was always there for me. He never left, is what I mean. And I turned back to him, seeked revelation. I prayed as much as I could. I read my word like I was so hungry for him. And that is what helped me move on. It took me a long time to move on from that pain, to move on from that situation that I was in. I was really hurt. You know, I was broken inside, and I felt like I could never face God ever again. And I broke that promise towards him, and I broke that promise to myself. And I hated myself after that. I did not like myself. I always went out, you know, I always went out clubbing, always went out to the bar, you know, I got drunk sometimes. Like, I didn't like myself. I didn't like who I was, and I thought that would, you know, help me to numb the pain for a little while and not worry about it. But I found out that's not what you should be doing if you're trying to get rid of hurt. Hurt is something that runs so deep inside you that you can't heal it if you just ignore it and if you just don't think about it. That does not make the pain go away. The pain that I felt, those 4, 3, 5, I don't even know how long it was, really long time ago, that pain that I felt, it's gone. God took away that pain. I just felt like a huge, you know, load of, you know, crud. I don't want to say crap. Oh, I just did, didn't I? And I got into other situations with a guy. It was long distance, and, you know, things happened, and that lasted for like a couple, I think it was like 7 years, but it was something that was a big heartache as well. Getting into these, you know, heartbreaks with these guys. That is when I finally realized that, you know, this pain that I feel, it's not worth it. It's not worth revenge, or it's not worth getting back at someone. That stuff I wanted to do. I wanted to get back at that girl. I wanted to get back at that. I wanted to make their life hell. And that's not something as a Christian woman should be doing. And so I changed my mind around, and I looked to God. I prayed for those people. I prayed for every person that, you know, I did wrong or they did wrong. I prayed for them because I took that to the cross and I left it there. You know, and that's what helped me move on, honestly. And since then, I have the best joy, and my heart is so sealed and repaired and healed so much that I'm able to love again. You know, I'm able to love myself. In order for me to do that, God loved me. He loved me back to life. And that is what changed my heart and my thinking and the way I wanted, you know, my future to be. And, you know, it changed everything. And once I put God first in everything that I do, in my work, in my school, in my relationships with like friends or family, it changed me. And I give God all the praise. There's not a day that goes by that I do not regret any of the mistakes that I've made. You know, yeah, I did make a mistake of, you know, losing my virginity to some guy that didn't care. But, you know, I learned so much from the past. And I thank the past. I'm blessed with so many things and people in my life that surround me with positivity, and they uplift me. I have a boyfriend now that actually cares for me, you know, and, you know, I may not be the best, you know, person because I've been hurt before to be in a relationship, but once you love yourself, that is when you know that you are able to love someone else. And for me, to love somebody else is the best thing in the world, because that love doesn't come from my heart, it comes from God. And when I'm able to show that to like my boyfriend or my family, my dog, my dogs, yeah, I can love again. And it doesn't have to be, you know, that, you know, in love with a guy. I'm able to love myself. That's my story, and I hoped, you know, that maybe spoke to you. And you know, if you're going through that kind of deal, I suggest, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, force people to, you know, go to the Lord, read your word. What you need to do is you need to figure out what's important in your life. Is it worth losing that? You know, if being with this person and they're hurting you, or it's just not working, yeah, I know they may be your first, but sometimes it changes you and you change into a person that you don't want to be. It's like the last thing you want to be. And if that happens, you know what to do. You need to let it go. And it's not the easiest thing to do in the world, trust me. Letting go is the hardest thing that you can ever do. But you know, being able to move on, just thinking about the long run is something that is best for you. And yeah, I hope this video helped you in some kind of way. I'm really glad to be back. I don't know when I'm going to make my next video because of my schedule, but I'm going to try. Just keep alert on my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram. Just yeah, on the social network. Oh yeah. I have to go now because I'm like really sweating. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just really sweating. And I'm sorry about my room. Look at my room. I mean, like, I have my boyfriend's stuff here. He doesn't even live here anymore on this date. I have like trash. I'm sorry. I've been really busy. I just don't clean anymore. I'm gonna go now, and I hope you guys have a great day. And
I'm writing off shorties whose bodies is less impressive, like I'm caught up in this game again. She's asking if we more than friends.